videos, and then without the videos, there is no fun. So my talk is about computational intelligence applied to time series analysis. I have two topics within my presentation, very brief snapshot of what we are doing with time series. The first one topic is about self-organizing maps applied for temporal sequence processing, and the second topic is about analysis of astronomical time series by using information theoretic learning. Okay. So how many of you know about the self-organizing maps? It's very well known? Okay, perfect. So basically, as you know, coherent maps or self-organizing feature maps are supervised neural networks. There are two main features. One is the vector quantization of the feature space, and the second one is the topological order mapping. And there are thousands of applications, basically for dimensionality reduction. Visualization is one of the most important applications, clustering, and so on. But my interest is to use these tools for temporal processing. And sorry, this is the old. And here is the. Okay, it's working. Wonderful. This is to show just traditional conventional algorithms. The green points are the data in this case, and the blue points are the output grid. And then adaptively, coherent algorithms will place these prototypes in order to quantize, to make a quantization, kind of minimum mean square error. And this is what we can get using the coherent algorithms. As you can see also that there is a problem here because many of the prototypes are placed in locations where there is no data. And then next algorithm is a variant of SOM. It's called neural gas. And it solved this problem because basically the problem with the self-organizing map or coherent map is that the neighborhood is defined in the output space. If you change that and define the neighborhood in the input space, then you get something like this. And then you can see immediately that we can get a better quantization without the problem of the constriction or the constraints of the topological structure in the output space. We can have a very nice quantization. All this stuff is the classical one, so I want to move further for using this tool for temporal processing. So recently there are several extensions of self-organizing maps for processing data sequences, or just could be temporally or spatially connected. For example, for dealing with words, DNA sequences, time series. Most models add some kind of context. So you have the spatial quantization. We want to add kind of temporal context to this model. So essentially, as you know well, the coherent maps, we have a kind of weight or prototype we call W, and then we add a context, C. The context has to take into account what happened in the past in this time series. Just very briefly, we add to the self-organizing map some short memories, short-term memories, in this case, gamma memories. So in the new maps, we have information about the past of the sequence of the data. And then we can also have these filters. Gamma filter could be applying cascade to have order k. This is one of the parameters of our algorithm. And then this is a slide showing what we can get. As you know, the cojones maps, this is a kind of number of n times n neurons. But the point is that now, because we are making the spatio-temporal quantization, we can have associated to each neuron different sequences, so pieces of time series. And what we're showing here is that what pieces of the time series are similar. This is the quantization. For example, you can imagine that this could be the profile of electrical load demanding or whatever you want to analyze. So we can have a visualization of this time series and these pieces, these clusters, and so on. But I want to move further again, and then because we have the time now, we can have kind of dynamics maps, not only static like this. Dynamics maps are important because we can visualize the trajectories, for example. Then it's very important for analyzing time series. Okay. This is what we are doing. It's a kind of embedding. I don't know if you know, there is a classical approach for nonlinear time series analysis. It's called coordinate delay embedding. We do something similar, but in the neural network, in this case, in the self-organizing map. So the gamma sum, this gamma filters applied to self-organizing map, is a kind of gamma filter embedding. So that means that we just transform the space to some k plus 1 dimensional, where the third element is the weight, typical traditional conventional weight, and the C1 and to CK are the context of this prototype. The context are taking into account the past, the sequence, and the time series. Then I want to show you quickly a couple of examples. The first one is about the chaotic Lorentz system. Traditionally, if you know something about this, is a three-dimensional system. It's chaotic. But according to Haken's theorem of embedding, we can reconstruct the strange attractor using only one of the variables. And similar is for the bottom example, the far infrared laser. So here I have some videos that will not work because it's not in my computer. So I move to here. Let's say, okay. Here we are seeing the conventional way of dealing with this time series. On the bottom, we have the Lorentz system. On the top is what is called a first portrait. So we can, essentially, it's a plot of x, the signal, and x times minus tau. So it's what is called an embedding. And this example is very famous because you probably have heard about the butterfly effect. And the butterfly effect is because of this modeling. And then it means that the example is that it's because this system is chaotic. It means that it's very sensitive to initialization. So starting from very similar point, you can go very far away. And that butterfly effect is that butterfly flapping in Brazil produce a storm in Chicago or something like that. You probably have heard about that. So this is a traditional way of doing this. Okay. But what happens if there is noise, for example? If the previous signal was almost without noise, and if there is any noise, then we see almost nothing. because there is too much noise, so we cannot see the attractor. Essentially, what we want to see an open space in this case, because it's where the center of the attractor is located. And then the next one is what we can get with the gamma self-organizing maps. This is a similar plot, but it's produced by the self-organizing map. So the top picture is the case of noisy Lorentz. And you can see that self-organizing map is able to, first, to reconstruct the space state. Second, to filter out the noise. Some, of course, not completely, but you can see something. In the previous case, we were not able to see anything. And then another example is this one. This is not a video. This is another example. Is the case of the laser. This is also famous data because it was used in a time series competition. And what you see on the top is a coherent or self-organizing map. But the point is that it's dynamic. And you can see the periodicity. And also you can see the tractor. So that's what I am interested in. The next point, we are still working on this topic. And the next point is to do time series prediction coming from this kind of plots. So that means we have to see what is the next point or what are the next point in these plots. This way we can make probably short-term prediction because these systems are chaotic. Okay. Let's go back to presentation. Okay, that's basically the first part. So if you are interested, there are some references. Our work first starting to create gamma self-organizing maps, and then the variants, gamma linear gas, gamma growing linear gas, and the application for nonlinear time series analysis. Okay, and then that was the first topic, quickly, and the second topic, what is the second topic is the application of astronomical time series analysis using information theoretic learning. So what is this about? In astronomy, at least in optical astronomy, the time series are called light curves. Basically, it's the brightness of a star over time. So you can imagine there are billions of stars, so you can get data from billion stars, billion of light curves. And then there is a subset of stars called variable stars whose luminosity varies over time. This is a small subset. 3% of the stars of the universe are variables, 1% are periodic. However, are very important. And the main reason is that is the basic way to measure the distance from the Earth to the stars. As you know, the star is periodic, has certain types, then there are ways to estimate or calculate the distance. So that's very important in astronomy. So, but also, if you analyze this kind of light curve, you can discover planets, and then you can classify stars, measure distance to Earth, and so on. So it's very traditional and important in astronomy. This is an example of a light curve. This is periodic, but the point to show this is that it's not clear at all when you see the picture that is periodic. This is luminosity, brightness, magnitude. Our time in astronomy, they use Julian dates, so basically are days, counting in days. Of course, some data are plotted in the same day, but the point is the period of this light curve is more than a day, so it's not. So you should be able to see the period. However, we are not able. Why not? Because there are three problems. Well, two problems. The first one is that these time series are an even sample, and that is there are several reasons for that. Because till now there is some time constraint in the observatories. You cannot focus the whole sky. You have to hire in advance the observatory to take images of certain part of the sky. And also there is a problem of the night cycles, weather conditions, equipment operability, and so on. So these time series are very irregularly sampled. That's one point. The second point, they're very noisy, and there are several reasons for that. For example, we cannot expect to get only the light from a star that is several million of years away, and we are capturing only the light from that star. It's not possible. You will get the background, you get the moon and the other skies, the stellar light, and so on. And also there is a problem of photometric error. In the end, you are measuring light, you have to measure the photons, and so on. And the third point is that astronomical surveys are very large. At this time, we have 10 million of light curves for every survey. But it's coming soon, in the next 10 years, probably, very large databases of billions of stars. So this, I don't know, so this would not work. Anyway, this is an example of kind of variable stars. And to the left is what is called eclipsing binaries. Basically, are two suns, but two that are orbiting around each other, but are so far away that from the Earth we see only one point. But the important thing is that because there are two suns, and depending on of course, on the angle of view, we will see two drops in light because of the eclipses, like what is shown in the top left figure. And this were a video for unfortunately my computer is not working here. And on the right is the case of pulsating stars. So a star could be radiating more energy or depending on some internal combustion processes and so on. So what are our problem? Basically is to discriminate between periodic and non-periodic light curves. And if it is periodic, then of course we have to find the period. And we want to do this automatically. Our approach is to use information theoretic learning. We don't have too much time here to explain about this, but probably all of you know the concept about entropy, mutual information, and so on. And this concept could be applied in machine learning. And basically we use core entropy on the bottom. Core entropy is, of course, comes from correlation and entropy. It's a generalized correlation computed using is similar to the entropy in the square entropy of Renyi. And so in the end, we come with a metric that we call current triply generalized periodogram. I don't have the time to explain much more about this, just results. If you are more interested, I have at the end of the presentation the papers. This example shows, to the left, a synthetic data example with the noise in time and magnitude. What is the meaning of noise in time? Remember that we have to simulate the uneven or irregular sampling. So because this is a synthetic signal, we know what is the real period. And to the right is our metric. I indicated the real period is marked with the red line. And it's finding correctly. In spite of the noise and time and in magnitude, we are finding the correct period. Of course, we apply this to real data from Macho. There are several surveys. One is called Macho. Has a meaning, but it's not the word. And this, to show you on the left, we have real time light curves in the column on the left. And you see almost nothing. To the right is what we found without the method. And the top right one, we are saying this is periodic with a degree of confidence 99%. And the bottom right is also periodic with a degree of confidence 90%. And this is a receiver operator characteristic of comparing our approach with others. The important thing here is to near the zero false positive rate. Remember that the periodic stars are only 1% of the universe, so we have to be very low in the scale of false positive. And the main point here is that our system is much better than what is used in astronomy. You look at the zero false positive, we have about 97% of accuracy. Another system have 93 or less than 90%. And this is important because also the numbers, there are billions of stars. So when you say 1% or something like that, it means a lot of stars. And then quickly about the problem of computation. We are currently computing the Eros survey. This is only a survey from the Magellan Clouds. And there are about 48 million light curves. Just in the large Magellan Cloud. And then we, in our lab, we use a GPU, and a GPU, graphic processor unit. And then if we compute one light curve without method, we spend about 1.5 seconds. Because we have to sweep we don't know the period, so we have to sweep for a number of periods, in this case 20,000. And then but the problem that using one computer, one GPU, that means 845 days. It's crazy, of course. Then we began with reducing the number of trial period to 600, and then reduce the computation to 0.2 seconds. So, but again, still for processing the 40 million light curve, it will take 113 days. So the solution was to use a cluster of GPUs in the National Center for Supercomputer Application in the University of Illinois. We are using this cluster, and we have processed so far 1.2 million light curves in 40 minutes. So at this rate, we can process the whole Eros database 48 million in 30 hours. But this machine has 44 machines, the 4G has 44 machines, and that means 288 GPUs in total. So we at least we may be able to process 1 billion light curves in 10 days with our procedure. That's to to show you what is the problem of big data in some way. Okay, I don't know if you have had some time yet, Marius?
Couple more minutes.
Okay. So, yes, but I have something to say about the challenges.
I also say it during the panel.
Okay, but since I have some time, let me show you. Oh, sorry. Okay. So Marius asks us to think about the challenges and for the next 20 years. So this was a pretty tough question. And then I thought about, in general, for our society and what we do, computational intelligence, not only for my research, but of course I have a bias, and my bias is what I like, of course. So for me, the first challenge is about the laws of self-organization. What we have today is self-organizing neural networks, but are rather simple, like cojones maps. Usually the map is 100 by 100 or something like that, or 1,000 by 1,000. So it's a very small number of neurons and low scales. And there are other principles like principle of relevant information from information theoretic learning for self-organization. In physics, you will find self-criticality concept. But if we think about the next 20 years, I would like to see some new evolutionary algorithms that include self-organization. That's because most probably the biological evolution have some kind of self-organization. And then also the self-organization of large-scale neural networks. I'm talking about billions of neurons. And in some way, finding the new principles of self-organization. That would be really nice because this is related to the origin of life, ontogeny, and brain, so everything. And then, of course, this challenge number one, I have some inspiration on a Stuart Kaufman book on At Home at the Universe. If you have not read it, it's a really nice book to read. And the second topic, this is very general, it's not my research. Is what about I would like to see in the next 20 years, if I am alive. It's about reverse engineering the brain. I think we cannot be far from this, otherwise computational intelligence probably will miss something very important. What is the scientific are doing today? Jenny told us something about neuroscience. But basically, what they are doing is simulation of a brain. For example, the simulation of rat brain is about 2 million neurons. We are talking just not simulating the behaviors. It's simulating, make simulation with 2 million neurons do something, but not necessarily to understand the brain or simulating the whole behavior. This is also today, there are some simulation of human brain, but only about 1% of the human brain. And there is important technique, it's called optogenetics, that is revealing the neural pathway. So it means that for certain behaviors in animals, you can find what are the neurons that are firing, where is located, and so on. So what to achieve in the next 20 years? I foresee that there will be many brain simulation and modeling in the next 20, 30 years. And that will provide us with a big data to analyze, and we have to make sense of it. That's one point. And the next, we will need to develop models and algorithms to large-scale neural networks if we want to understand the brain in somewhere in the future. We have to be able to deal with algorithms with very large-scale neural networks. I mean, when I say large-scale, the number of neurons in the brain. And then also to do pattern recognition at the level of the human being. as a source, I cite Michio Kaku, Physics of the Future book. And of course, this may be not doable in 20 years, perhaps take 100 years, but we will start now. So my point is that we as a society, we cannot be outside of this challenge. And the last point is about the challenge in big data. Of course, I know that big data is a challenge not only in astronomy, but I'm talking astronomy because I know the case. So, but of course, probably you have in mind other problems like bioinformatics or whatever. What happened today is that sky surveys have about 100 million stars, are very common. But just to cite two examples related to my country, I'm from Chile, and I'm proud to say that Chile is the capital of the world in something, only in astronomy. And because the best large astronomic observatories are in Chile, and the next coming from the next 20 years are also going to Chile. And the reason is that in northern Chile, there is the sky was open, there is no rain at all. This is the big desert. It's a wonderful place to locate telescope. For example, LSST telescope is under construction in Chile. We collect information of the whole sky, everything visible in the sky, every 3 days. So that means the collection of 10 of billion of stars. Per day, that means 30 terabytes per day and 150 petabytes in 10 years. Some people say that this will be the largest database in the world, so to have an idea. And then, of course, what we need to do to process this data is there is a problem of storage and transmission and so on. I'm more interested in processing. We need ultra-efficient computational intelligent algorithms. It's not good to have n square or n cube algorithm. We need order n or less, some way to go directly to find the patterns. And of course, this to have very efficient algorithms to deal with very large-scale big data is one point. And the other point is parallel computation, probably new forms of computation. I'm not sure personally that the way is to go using the same model for Newman computers. I'm more open to different kinds of computers like memory stores, DNA computing, quantum computing, whatever. We need something different, I think. And as a source, I cite this paper, Big Data in Astronomy, just from August 2012, to show you that this is a very trendy topic. And that's my presentation.
Questions? Costa?
I just wonder, do you have any reason to believe that the light star is a stationary time series?
The what?
Light star, right? This series.
The light curves.
Yes, the light curves are stationary.
Well, it's a good question. I don't think they're stationary, but at least there is not. Well, depend on. I have to say there are several million of light curves. So I cannot say that everything is the same, and there's different surveys and so on. But at least the light curves that we have processed have no trends. So it's stationary some way in the mean. That doesn't mean there is no trend in astronomy. I know that there are, but not in the curves that we were processing. So the trending could be a tool to do. And the problem with the variance, well, it's difficult to do something like that. And basically, the main advantage of our approach is that we use the probability density function because we compute entropy. So entropy is a function of the probability density function. That means that we are using all the moments of the data, all the statistical moments. And the traditional algorithms use only the square, the second order moment. So we use everything. And then we have an advantage in this problem.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a quick coffee break, and then in 10 minutes we'll come back in order to have the